Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a really massive shift in how the modern workplace actually operates. Specifically, we're going to explore how we are completely changing the way our buildings say hello. If you've walked into a modern office building, a medical clinic, or a corporate HQ lately, you've probably noticed that the traditional front desk is, well, it's evolving. And in some cases, it's disappearing entirely. We're going to unpack exactly why that's happening, how it all works under the hood, and what this actually means for the future of business operations.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this. You stroll into this beautiful, sprawling corporate lobby. The lighting is absolutely perfect, the architecture is stunning, and there's a massive, polished front desk right smack in the center. But there's absolutely no one there. You're just standing there, looking around awkwardly. Do you wait? Do you call the person you're supposed to meet? Do you just kind of wander in? It is that universally awkward feeling, right? And quite frankly, it's a terrible first impression for any business. It's the exact moment where the physical space completely fails the human experience.
So the problem with that traditional front desk becomes pretty clear pretty fast. It is inherently limited. It depends entirely on one chair, one phone, or one person being free at the exact right second. If that person is taking a bathroom break, handling a super difficult phone call, or, out sick, the whole system just breaks down. On the flip side, we have the virtual reception model. And let's be clear, this isn't just a replacement, it's a major upgrade. We're talking about connected software, smart kiosks, and intelligent automation acting as the invisible hand, really the nervous system of the building. It doesn't take lunch breaks, and it scales effortlessly, whether you've got one location or 50 of them. Here's our quick roadmap for today. First up, the empty desk problem. Second, defining virtual reception. Third, features driving business ROI. Fourth, adapting across industries. And finally, designing secure human journeys. Let's get to it. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the empty desk problem and the heavy cost of repetitive work. The reality we're facing is that maintaining a fully staffed front desk is incredibly expensive, especially because the actual work is highly, highly repetitive. To really anchor this in reality, consider this staggering number. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, we are looking at an estimated 871,000 full-time wage and salary workers in receptionist occupations in 2025. That is a massive workforce. When you're dealing with a labor force that large, performing highly repetitive admin tasks, like answering the exact same phone question 50 times a day or printing out paper visitor badges, even tiny operational efficiency gains matter immensely for the bottom line. Moving those repetitive tasks into software, it just makes total financial sense. And this brilliantly illustrates a really important distinction. Honestly, the biggest myth out there about virtual reception is that it means your lobby becomes cold and robotic. But that couldn't be further from the truth. By automating all those mundane tasks, like signing NDAs or printing out a visitor badge, the system actually frees humans up. It puts your people exactly where they matter most, answering the complex questions, personally greeting VIP arrivals, handling the sensitive cases, and actually engaging in real, meaningful conversation instead of just acting like a human signpost. Moving right along to Section 2, defining virtual reception. Let's take a look under the hood. So what is actually happening in these modern lobbies? What is a virtual reception? Well, it's a comprehensive digital ecosystem. It is absolutely not just an iPad bolted to a wobbly stand in the corner of a room. It's a fully integrated digital setup that handles arrivals, routes phone calls, maintains visitor records, and manages basic customer service. And it pulls this all off through connected software, intuitive kiosks, automation, and even remote video support. It behaves like an integrated part of the building itself, connecting seamlessly to the tools a company is already using every day, like their access control systems or Microsoft Teams. Let's walk chronologically through exactly how this builds into a really seamless physical experience. Step 1, a visitor walks in and enters their info on a sleek screen. Maybe they just scan a QR code on their phone or sign a digital NDA. Step 2, their host instantly gets a ping via SMS or email. Boom, they know you're there. Step 3, the visitor receives automated directions straight to the meeting room. And Step 4, if they somehow get confused, a live video chat can initiate immediately with remote support to help them out. It completely eliminates what we like to call lobby theater. That messy, loud process of figuring out who is there to see whom. Okay, on to Section 3, features driving business ROI through fewer gaps and cleaner data. At the end of the day, business leaders are adopting this tech for one very simple reason: faster, better service. Let's rapid fire through exactly how this software replaces the old manual desk work. Visitor check-in? It instantly registers guests and contractors without a single scrap of paper. Telephone routing? It automatically sends calls directly to the right department or voicemail using interactive voice response. Host alerts? It notifies employees instantly, wherever they happen to be in the building. Video support seamlessly connects guests to a live virtual receptionist when self-service just isn't enough. And security? It creates a perfect, unalterable digital log of exactly who entered the building, when they entered, and who approved it. Every single one of these tasks used to require manual human intervention.
And hey, speaking of security, we absolutely have to talk about emergencies, because this is perhaps the single most critical advantage of a digital system. Think about a fire alarm going off. Traditional paper visitor logbooks are literally not built for panic. In a rush, they get left behind on the desk. A virtual reception, however, instantly turns reception data into life-saving safety data. With a click, it can generate mustering lists to see exactly who is still inside the building, it can blast out emergency text messages to contractors on site, and it can provide incredibly clear evacuation instructions. Let's pivot to Section 4, Adapting Across Industries, looking at flexible applications. Obviously, a massive corporate headquarters doesn't have the same day-to-day needs as a local medical clinic. The true power of a virtual receptionist is how flexibly it molds to highly specialized environments. In healthcare, for example, the system strictly manages patient privacy and secure form signing so nurses can actually focus on patient care. In real estate, where agents are constantly on the move, it captures walk-in lead details instantly. For legal services, it prevents those loud, indiscreet conversations in the lobby, quietly routing clients to protect sensitive details. In an e-commerce warehouse, it keeps the frantic rush of delivery drivers completely separate from corporate visitors. And in educational institutions, it standardizes the complex workflows of managing parents, guest speakers, and contractors. The software essentially just adapts to the specific rules of the building. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Designing Secure Human Journeys, Protecting Your Data and Managing Scale. So, the crucial point is this. The main challenge of implementing this tech isn't setting up the hardware, it's protecting the data. Check out this number. According to IBM's 2025 report, $4.44 million is the global average cost of a data breach. When a visitor checks into your building, they are handing over names, phone numbers, personal emails, signatures, and sometimes even a scan of their driver's license. Reception is a welcome point, yes, for sure, but it is also a major data collection point. This massive financial risk emphasizes exactly why visitor data deserves incredibly serious handling. You literally cannot afford to leave a paper logbook sitting open on a desk for anyone walking by to photograph. To mitigate that kind of risk, any virtual reception system worth its salt has to be built on a few essential security features right from day one. You need secure cloud hosting environments. You need role-based system access, meaning, let's be real, a summer intern shouldn't be seeing the same visitor data that the head of security sees. You also need detailed, unalterable audit logs. All data handling must be strictly encrypted, and critically, you need clear data retention rules so you aren't storing sensitive visitor IDs for years after they've actually left the building. But hey, alongside securing data, you've also got to secure your team's sanity against high volumes, right? High call volume can absolutely break a physical front desk and just bury good employees under bad timing. A smart virtual setup uses a layered approach to handle the load. First, you use automated IVR for simple routing. Second, missed calls follow strict rules to hit the correct voicemail immediately. Third, priority calls escalate right to a live human. Fourth, you can leverage a remote team of virtual receptionists specifically for overflow during peak rush hours. And fifth, you use the software's analytics to review call data weekly so you can constantly fine-tune and adjust your strategy. Which leaves us with this final thought. When you look around at your lobby, your phone systems, and your check-in process right now, is your building working for you or is it working against you? The technology exists today to turn your front desk from an expensive, outdated bottleneck into an intelligent, secure, and highly efficient nervous system. It really is time to rethink how we say hello. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some great ideas for your own workspaces. Catch you next time.